How to know if he is cheating on you. Here are 3 signs. First, discontent with your income. If your partner or anyone starts to complain about how much money you make, saying things like, "Is that all you earn?" Pay attention. Second, comparing you to others. They might say, "Look at my friend, they're doing so well." Or compare your looks or lifestyle to someone else's. Third, opportunistic behavior. If they start talking about how someone wealthy has taken an interest in them, and they seem excited about that, it's a big red flag. Once you see these signs, beware. They are indications that you're being used as a stepping stone. This applies to the workplace too. For example, someone might complain about their salary or the income of your team. They'll compare themselves to others in different departments who are earning more. They'll mention how a higher-up praised them and might offer them more. If you see these signs in a colleague, they are planning to leave for a better opportunity. In both relationships and work, people follow these same patterns. They look for something better while using what they have to get ahead. And once 1 or 2 of these signs appear, it's a clear signal that they're on their way out. Humans are driven by comparison. If someone sees their situation as less than others, they start to change their behavior. It all stems from the basic law of attraction. People are drawn to either power or reward. You either attract people with something they want, or you keep them in check with authority. When either one fades, they move on. This is a fundamental truth about relationships and work. Your value in someone's eyes is always compared to what they believe they could have elsewhere. We're all living in the perception of others, not just in our own, so don't get lost in your own view of the world. Pay attention to how others see you. Who do men cheat with? Do men often cheat on their wives with one woman or many? In my opinion, men who are from ordinary families are more commonly to try some low-priced professional services. For an average man, when he gets married, he often marries an average woman who, in terms of looks, is typically quite standard. However, many men fantasize about a partner with an angelic face and a devilish figure. For these men, the only way to access such women is through such avenues. When a man has more financial resources, he has more choices and doesn't necessarily need to seek out companionship through professional ladies. Another reason is the limitations some men feel with their wives, especially within the context of traditional education and values. Communication about intimacy, especially related to their desires or fantasies, is often inadequate between couples. Many men feel that their fantasies can't be fulfilled in their marriage, so they seek fulfillment elsewhere, where they can dictate what happens. Why a husband cheat on a wife? Why do relationships between men and women eventually turn into a matter of economics? First and foremost, people need to survive. If they can't, or if their life becomes difficult, their emotions will be all over the place. In simple terms, having money gives us security, and when we feel secure, we become emotionally stable. Why are some stay-at-home moms feeling so insecure? Because their husbands have stopped even promising better things. In many marriages, the wife expects the husband to go out, work harder, and bring home more money. But from the husband's point of view, he feels like a worker with 2 bosses. One is his actual boss and another one is his wife. For many men, this becomes unbearable. As a result, some men turn to other things for relief, seeking outside relationships where they feel less pressure. From the wife's perspective, the husband is expected to provide. "I gave birth to your kids. I didn't ask for huge things. The house is falling apart, and you still won't upgrade it." Both parties feel like bosses, competing against each other, but this only leads to frustration. In these cases, it's as if the family has become a company where both spouses are the bosses trying to control things. But they forget that the kids are actually the ones who need to be the focus, the employees to raise, so they can eventually grow up and support the family. Without this shared sense of teamwork, the couple fights, and the relationship falls apart. Over time, what happens? The husband seeks satisfaction elsewhere, often because it's cheaper and less demanding. Outside relationships offer him a sense of freedom, no emotional or financial burden, and the price is right compared to what he gives at home. This explains why marriages often evolve into economic disputes. The root cause isn't necessarily a lack of love or emotional connection, but money and the pressures tied to it. In short, when there's a constant war over money and control, the relationship loses its balance. Eventually, it's not about love anymore, it's about money and how to survive. The true issue isn't emotional, it's economic. Do you know what kind of wife a man really wants? Men need different things from women at different stages of their lives. The desire for physical attraction, from young to old, is a lifelong need for men, dictated by their biology. As long as they're breathing, that desire exists. Don't focus too much on this aspect. It's something that stays with him forever, and if he doesn't get it from you, he'll find it elsewhere. Some men have strong self-control and handle it themselves, while others don't, leading to infidelity. But don't obsess over it too much. You only need to know why he still comes home, because home is his sanctuary. So what is this home? It's the battleground for women. If there's another woman outside providing him comfort, making his life easier, and giving him what he needs emotionally or physically, he may not come back. You need to think about how you might be losing to other women, not to your husband. The conflict isn't really with him. It's with other women competing for his attention. If your focus is always on your husband, you're missing the bigger picture. You're not competing with men. You're competing with other women. When another woman offers what you don't, he compares the two of you. He might feel frustrated with you if you don't provide emotional support, don't encourage him, aren't gentle or seductive, or don't bring any excitement into the relationship. So why would he stay with you? At home, the daily responsibilities like cooking, raising children, and managing the household are the real battlegrounds. Some women use their children as tools to make their husbands to feel guilty or trapped, which is a mistake. Instead of fostering a strong bond between the father and child, they use the child to pressure him. This often leads to more resentment. Meanwhile, another woman out there is offering relaxation, fun, and no demands. Who do you think he'll choose? The reality is that many women unknowingly push their partners into the arms of other women by creating stressful home environments. They fail to recognize that their real competition is other women who are offering their partners what they are not. High-value women understand this. They maintain warmth, sweetness, and are always aware of how to keep their partners engaged. These women simply offer what others lack: warmth, understanding, and a nurturing environment. How to prevent men from cheating. The most fundamental issue is this: you all hope that men will be emotionally self-aware, right? You want them to be naturally thoughtful and responsible emotionally, whether it's about giving you money or being loyal and hard-working. This expectation that a man will automatically maintain this ideal behavior is completely unrealistic. It's a fantasy. What I'm telling you is that we need to manage things on a practical, physical level. You have to control two things of a man: his emotional and physical resources. It's not about kill his desires to cheat. It's about giving him no ability to cheat. That's what management is all about. Management isn't about trusting human nature, it's about setting rules that constrain his behavior, using the resources you have as leverage. By controlling his time, energy, and resources, eventually he'll just feel like it's too much trouble to act out. He might think about it, but then he'll realize, this is too complicated, too expensive, too exhausting, I'll just forget it. That's how you align with the core of human nature. If you give him free time, space, money, what do you expect? Of course he'll stray. You need to keep him occupied, thinking about how to stay within the bounds you've set. Let him use his energy trying to figure out how to give you less money, or how to get more freedom, or how to stay loyal while being successful. If you just give him everything, comfort, joy, freedom, what do you think he'll do? He'll get bored. He'll start using his free time, energy, and money to scheme in ways that don't benefit you. Instead, keep him occupied, constantly thinking about how to stay within your rules. Otherwise, with nothing to do and too much freedom, he'll use his energy to seek excitement elsewhere. So, if you create too much stress, he will cheat. If you create too much freedom, he will cheat. What do you do exactly? First, you need to seek a balance between these two. You should know what kind of life you two are most enjoyable. Second, you need to set a punishment for wrong behaviors. For example, setting up how much money he would compensate you if he cheats on you in a prenuptial or a postnuptial agreement, not just verbally, in writing. Should you forgive him? Well, I do not want to make the decision for you. You have to make the decision yourself. I just want to tell you the reality. What an average man could provide for you is limited, so if he is shifting his attention, his money, his energy elsewhere, in my opinion, this marriage is meaningless. Because the purpose of marriage is to stay together to face the struggling and surviving issues in life. It is very important for two average people to put all their resources together into a family to make every family members live a better life. A man with wealth will face many seductions most women could never imagine. If they never dated wealthy men before, many women throw themselves on those men. It is unlikely a man will be faithful with you throughout his entire life. If you are lucky, he might be faithful for you for 10 years or 20 years. Those extreme lucky marriages happen while he is an heir from a very traditional wealthy family, and you two meet in college. Should you still believe in love? Seeing through all kinds of relationships and still believing in love. How is that possible? Believing in love must be based on a full understanding of human nature. When a woman doesn't have unrealistic expectations of human nature, she believes in love. Many times the love most women have is an illusion. What many women's love is a prince that could change their lives in the fairy tale. The one they love is not the real person in front of them. The essence of loving someone is fully accepting them. Whatever happens to them, whatever they do or think, that is who they are. You need to love that person as they are. That is true love. It's not about always wanting to shape someone into your ideal version of them. That isn't love, that's just satisfying your own need for control. What do you think about men cheating? Please leave your story and your thoughts.